Hello again, everybody. It's Scott Casper. Glad to be with you for this week's edition of Takedown. Our first stop this week, Colorado Springs. That's where the U.S. freestyle team is preparing to take on the world in Paris, France. Lots of great storylines coming out of the Springs, as you might guess, including how will Jordan Burrows recover from Olympic heartbreak? And will Thomas Gilman, Zane Rutherford, and Nick Wisdowski be able to emulate their college success on the world stage? I think they will. First world event for new head coach Bill Zadick, and it's been 21 years since the Americans last won the world team title. Will he and his squad be able to break the cycle?
With Jordan Burrows in the best 4-minute interview of all time.
Yes.
Talk about this American team.
Studs, a team packed with studs, man. I don't think we've had a team like this ever before. And we always say that every year, right? I remember in 14, we're like, man, this team's amazing, we're gonna do it. 15, this team's amazing, we're gonna win it. 16, this is the best team we've ever had. But I truly feel like this is the best team that we've had. I think I heard Bill say that this is the first time we've had a team where a guy has won a medal on every level, right? Whether it's Olympic, world, or junior, these guys have all placed at some world level tournament. So studs all believe in their abilities and they're confident going into Paris. I'm excited.
We got, a lot of best guys in the country here in freestyle, and a lot of great coaches, a lot of different guys to learn from, technique. Everyone's different. Everyone's got their own little opinions or ideas on how to get to different attacks and score more points. So it's good just to have a lot of different minds in the room, great minds too. Sammy Henson, Bill Zadick, Kevin Jackson, and Kale was in here, John Smith. It's just a lot of great guys, a lot of great coaches, a lot of great partners.
A lot of guys do a lot of scouting, others don't. Do you like to know your opponents? Have you been spending some time checking out all the other 57s that'll probably be at Worlds?
Spent a little time, watched clips here and there with Tom and Terry and Mark Perry, but mostly just letting them watch the film and letting them kind of tell me what's going on. I'll watch a little more film as it gets closer, but I have no sense in worrying about it right now. I'm not worrying about those guys. I'm just got to worry about myself and get myself better. And if I just put myself out there every single day, I don't think no matter what they do, they can touch me. So.
What's different now that you've gone there and had success and have to go back and face the world again?
Yeah, I guess more people will see me or maybe have scouted me, but I was pretty well scouted. At Budapest, I wrestled all 2015 season, 16 season. So I think maybe the difference would be having a full team, rather than just James and I in Budapest. So the competition will be tough, like always. I had a incredible draw. Last time.
Incredible meaning everyone was good.
So, I expect similar, because everyone's going to be unseated in my weight.
Right.
So, I expect a similar draw with, world and Olympic champions, right away. So, it's going to be a great event.
It's been good, being around the guys, and meeting new guys, seeing the new faces, working with not only juniors but also cadets as well. It's been fun. I think it's really shown why this sport's really cool, because you get to, the younger kids and the next generation get to hang out with the guys who are there doing what they hope to be doing in the next, coming years in their lives. So, everyone's getting to work close, and I think the kids also help us kind of like, don't get me wrong, we love what we do and have fun, but they just bring that extra little fun into it. Let's just see how much fun we want to have and that passion that they have. So, it's been enjoyable. Definitely been enjoyable. We've been learning a lot too, working hard and learning a lot from each other. It's awesome.
All right, last one. Anybody that stuck out to you here at camp?
Oh man, a lot of people have stuck out to me. Of course, our stars and our performers, but our young guys and newer faces on the national team and the senior world team. Here's what I'll say. They may be new faces on the team, but they're veterans in their own way. Thomas Gilman, this is his 4th world team. Zane Rutherford, he's a 2-time NCAA champion, a cadet world champion. So it's his first senior world teams. Nick Wisdowski, university world team member. They're veterans, so they know how to win. I'm impressed with the poise that they display when they're training and what they expect of themselves.
Awesome. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
A former college superstar is going Greco. Gabe Dean joins us after the break. You're watching Takedown, brought to you by Casey's General Stores. Casey's, famous for pizza.
This month's special at Casey's General Stores is any large made-from-scratch two-topping pizza for only $12. For easy, quick service, order online or use our mobile app right now. Casey's, famous for pizza.
I'm Don Beneveni, Beneveni Chevrolet in Granger. We recently made the switch to LED lighting. We purchased it from Yellow Blue. We've had a very good experience. The lighting has saved us approximately $1,000 a month. I made the switch to Yellow Blue LED lighting, and you should too.
After winning a Pan Am silver medal on just 2 weeks' notice, Gabe Dean was suddenly viewed as the top Greco prospect in the country. The four-time All-American jumped back into freestyle this past April, placing 7th at the U.S. Open. But how would he fare in Greco? We're about to find out. Live from upstate New York, we're joined by two-time national champ and future Greco-Roman star, Gabe Dean. Gabe, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. The news is out, Gabe, that you're going to be transitioning to Greco. Let's talk about your history in Greco. How much of it do you have in your past?
About 3 weeks.
Three weeks, all of that. So talk to us about the challenges you're facing right now.
I think it's just a big learning curve for me. I never wrestled any freestyle Greco in high school. I've wrestled just a tiny bit in college. It's just a lot of learning, adjusting, and but luckily for me, I've got great support, good training partners, great coaches that are willing to spend the time and patience with me to get better at this style of wrestling. So yeah, just a lot of learning in front of me.
I'm going to work off some questions that were made by 5 Point Move and the good folks there. Did your experience at the 2015 Pan Americans play a role in your decision to accept Matt Lindland's invitation?
I think it kind of jump-started the idea that I had potential maybe to possibly be good at Greco. And definitely, my dad had a pretty good history of Greco. He did pretty well on the senior circuit. Never made a team, but was right there too. So there's kind of my blood a little bit there, and I think it just kind of made another door a possibility for me. I'm pretty raw, and I was raw when I was coming into college wrestling too. So just trying to see, trying to tap into my highest potential and see how good I can get, and kind of let the rest take care of itself. So I'd say that trip opened a door.
When are they, and when are you expecting to re-debut, as it were?
I'm not totally sure yet. I get back, we'll be back to a full training cycle. Summer I'm running trips and stuff, so kind of jumping around between June and July. But in August, it starts getting too routine again, and I'm sure they will have plenty of competition for me just based upon the fact that I need it. So it's probably sooner rather than later for sure.
Gabe, thanks for the time today. Anybody you want to thank on the way out?
Just thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it, and we'll just see where this road goes. And thank you, Scott, of course, for having me on. It's always a pleasure talking to you, one of the true professionals in our sport, so thank you.
All right, quick timeout. Back after this, you're watching Takedown. Thanks to McBride Mats.
This month's special at Casey's General Stores is any large made-from-scratch two-topping pizza for only $12. For easy, quick service, order online or use our mobile app right now. Casey's, famous for pizza.
Wow, 40 years. Time really flies. Don't seem like it's been that long. It seemed like only yesterday that I started out route delivering it to the stores. For over 40 years, we're really proud to keep the same quality ingredients and not change our recipe. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary by joining into our cookies recipe contest with a chance to win a Traeger Bronson 20 smoker. You can enter it on our Facebook page or cookiesbbq.com. Thanks for 40 years, and we'll see you in another 40 years.
Cookies is the one.
What's up, guys? I want to tell you about a new product that I am extremely excited about. It is the Pure and Clean Sports Skin Defense. It comes in a 16-ounce spray bottle, and it comes in a little bitty travel size spray bottles. I have one of these, throw it in my bag, go straight to the gym. A lot of these gyms I train at, whether it be boxing, wrestling, kickboxing, grappling, strength and conditioning, it all has bacteria floating around. They all have viruses floating around. They all have fungus floating around. And the last thing you want is to get a fungus, a virus, get sick, any kind of wounds that are going to turn into any kind of skin infections to take you off of the mat. Every single second that you spend off the mat or out of the gym is 1 second that you're wasting. So Pure and Clean Sports came up with an amazing solution to give you the right amount of protection on your skin. You spray it right on your skin. Stay pure, stay clean. Checking them out, pureandcleansports.com.
All right, welcome back to Takedown. Our coverage continues this week with a look at the life and career of a guy everybody's talking about, Hall of Fame inductee Kerry Colat, a four-time undefeated state champ from Pennsylvania. Colat is still considered one of the best high school wrestlers of all time. After winning 2 national titles at Lock Haven, he went on to a stellar and successful freestyle career, capturing a world silver medal in '97 and a bronze in '98. He's now the head coach at Campbell University. Colat led the Camels to a 2017 Southern Conference title and was named the SoCon Coach of the Year.
I was basically raised in Rice's Landing, Pennsylvania, and, on the Monongahela River. It's a small town in Pennsylvania. I had a lot of energy as a young kid, and so I think I drove my mother crazy. And growing up where I grew up, everybody wrestled. I had 2 older cousins who were in a wrestling club in the area, and so my father just put me in there. I think it was good for my mom to see me get out of the house, and then for myself, after my first year, I didn't have a winning record. I was like every kid. And by my second year, I started to turn the corner and get some wins under my belt. And then my father, asked me what my goals were one day, and I wrote them down. I wanted to win the Olympic Games. I wanted to be the best wrestler ever. And at that point, my father, kind of got involved with me and worked with me on, through this journey that I started. I discovered the sport of freestyle through my dad. He brought it up to me that there was a national championship that I could win for my age group, and it was in an international style of wrestling. And so I competed in freestyle that summer, and I, like any little kid, I was throwing headlocks and cement jobs, and I won a national title at 7 years old, and I thought that was the coolest thing on the planet. And at that point everything changed for me. At that point it just changed, and at that point I wanted to be the best in the world. In high school, I believe I was so dominant at that stage of my life. Technically, I had hours, and I studied the sport, I mastered the sport. I was always seeking out new partners that I could train with. I was watching video as much as I could. Physically, I was stronger than most people I wrestled. Conditioning-wise, I was typically ahead of them. And so that combination of things allowed me to be the dominant on the high school level.
He was always thinking 1 or 2 moves ahead of everyone else, doing one move to set up another move. He'd work with the best kid in the room. He'd also work with the worst kid in the room. I was able to stay with him a little bit, freshman, sophomore years. After that, I took a lot of beatings in the rooms and learned a lot off of him.
What stands out most to me about in high school is I feel like to some extent the whole community kind of lived through me in a sense. Like, it gave my town something to be proud of. We hadn't had a state champion in years. Our team became really successful as the group of guys that I trained with as a young kid came up through high school. I remember winning my state title and the fire trucks waiting and taking me around the town on top of it along with my team members, and we had a parade. I remember school being canceled for a day so they could have a dance to celebrate our team championship and our success at the state tournament as a group. So that was probably the biggest thing I remember besides, you know, being undefeated. It was how it pulled everybody in the community together. When I was in high school, I was never caught up on age. I got to the point in the sport of wrestling where it was simply, if you were the same weight, I'd wrestle you. At that point, you know, I started looking at, you know, the U.S. Open. I started looking at college open tournaments, and I just started making the leap. I figured, why am I going to sit back and wait if I'm capable of doing it? And I always believed I was capable of doing it. So, you know, I would bypass high school events. I would enter the U.S. Open. And so I was trying to train and learn from the best and wrestle with the best at an early age. When I hit college, that's when I found Team Foxcatcher. You know, I was part of Team Foxcatcher when Dave Schultz and all those guys were still there. And at that point, I started to, you know, I was guided by, you know, the world and Olympic champions. They had training there, you know, guys in the program who helped mentor me, guys who took care of me when I was on trips with them overseas just because I was a young kid. And so at that point, I aligned with the team.
Back in the early 90s when I was a volunteer coach at Penn State, and the first time I remember working out with him, I remember thinking, this kid is going to be pretty special. And I had no idea how special he was going to be. But, you know, from day one, he was a fierce competitor, extremely hard worker, and very dedicated.
If I look back at something I'm most proud of, you know, I had a lot of controversy in the 1998 World Championships, which forced me to completely wrestle back through the wrestlebacks, facing multiple world champions along the way, and to win bronze, I had to, you know, beat an eventual Olympic champion and multiple world champion to do it.
It was definitely one of the gutsiest performances and two of the best wrestlers I've ever seen in the world, going back to back. Your strength and your balance and your flexibility and your speed put you above 98% of any wrestlers I've ever seen in this world.
You know, I did not achieve everything I wanted to achieve, but that's just life. Life's not always fair, but that is life. And you roll with it, and you adjust, and you make changes, and you improve upon your mistakes, and you don't repeat them. I look back at the journey where I'm at right now, and I'm probably most proud to say that, you know, wow, I stuck with it for all those years. The biggest thing that wrestling has given me when it's all said and done is I met my wife through wrestling. And my wife gave me 3 great kids, you know, and so, I mean, that's probably the biggest impact it's had on my life. When I started my career, I never thought about the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. When you're young, all you do is face every battle that's in front of you. And I never really gave it much thought. And now at 43, when you look back, you say, wow, I mean, look where I'm at. I didn't achieve an Olympic gold medal or a world gold medal, the things that I set out to do in the sport, but this definitely caps it off.
Check out the National Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum on Facebook for dozens of documentaries and other great features on the class of 2017. Up next, an Olympic gold medalist and MMA superstar joins us live from Brazil. You're watching Takedown. Thanks to Nike Wrestling. Stay tuned.
The war raged for generations. No amount of bravery and conviction could end the infected, unyielding rage. And with every battle, the evil grew, changed, evolved. The Warriors needed nothing short of a miracle to stop the infection, and a miracle they received. Your body is at war against skin infections and diseases each time you step onto the mat. Protect yourself against the invasion. Defend Soap. Defend what you have built.
All right, welcome back. We have a very special guest in the Nike Hot Seat today. He's an Olympic gold medalist and one of the top 5 bantamweight fighters in the world, live from Brazil. Here's Henry the Messenger Cejudo. Welcome back, Henry. How are you?
I'm doing great, Scott. How's everybody else coming? I haven't talked to you in ages.
It seems like ages for a fact. You've got a fight coming up, Henry, and it's a good fight. It's a good fight for you. Wilson Reese. Say his last name for me.
It's Wilson Hayes, but it really doesn't matter because he's going down regardless.
Yeah, exactly. You came on really, really fast and really hard. You look at your early fights, and they were over in 1 round. What's changed in your fighting style?
Well, I think not so much what's changed with me. Well, I guess you're always evolving as a fighter, but also just the different levels of competition. I mean, really, like the only loss that I really do have is against Demetrius Johnson, which is, people not only call him the pound for pound best fighter in the world, but probably the best fighter in history. That's who I have to, beat. That's who I have to fight. And that's who I lost to. So it's like I've taken the sport extremely, extremely serious, like I did with wrestling. And it's just it is a different sport now because there's punches, kicks, submissions involved, not just the wrestling side of it. So it's I've enjoyed it. I like it, Scott. I like it, man. At first I wasn't too sure if I wanted to fight or whatnot because I know it's kind of brutal out there. But man, I was meant for this stuff. I can throw hands, I can submit, I can do a lot of things that a lot of people have trouble doing. But a lot has changed. But I will say this, Scott, that I owe all my success to the great sport of wrestling. It's made me who I am, and like it's matured me. It's taught me discipline. And I've always said, I always tell people, like wrestling was my first love. Like fighting's almost like it's like my second love now. But wrestling will always, always be my first love.
Coming up in August is a fight that is being billed as the biggest fight of all time, McGregor versus Mayweather. I know you've been around Conor McGregor. I don't know if you've been around money, but I got to believe you've got an opinion about this fight. What are your thoughts on McGregor versus Mayweather?
I really don't think Conor McGregor is going to touch. And I'm a big Conor McGregor fan, but I really don't. I mean, it's Floyd's craft. Like he understands boxing like nobody's business. So for Conor to
he's never been defeated. Never been defeated.
No, it's not. It's not even so much the defeated part. It's just that he's a legit professional boxer. It's Mayweather understands distance, just like Conor does, and his reflexes are just faster. His reflexes are just faster, and he's more precise than McGregor. Now, if it was an actual fight, Floyd Mayweather wouldn't make it out. He wouldn't make it out around, But since it's just the pure sport of boxing, and again, I'm going for Conor as a mixed martial artist. But if I was to put my money somewhere, it would be with Floyd Mayweather, and not only just my money on Floyd, but I can see Floyd stopping him, in maybe the 5th or 6th round.
I think I got you. We're talking to the messenger, Henry Cejudo. Henry, it's always good to talk to you, and you know the wrestling community is always pulling for you. We're going to be pulling for you, get you back in the win column on September 9th at Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I'm looking forward to it, man. Thank you.
No, I appreciate it, Scott. You guys have a good one. I want to thank all the wrestling fans for watching. I appreciate all the support, and you guys stay blessed, man. You guys have a great day.
All right, that's a wrap for this week. Special thanks to the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, USA Wrestling, Henry Cejudo, Gabe Dean, and all of you for joining us. And special good luck to all those kids that are wrestling in Fargo over the next week. For all the breaking wrestling news, interviews, prizes, and the longest-running radio show in the sport, check us out anytime, and it's free at takedownwrestle.com. For all of us in Des Moines, Iowa, I'm Scott Casper. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.